So, all right. All right, we're back on air, guys. Listen, I apologize to anybody that's watching. I know we did have over 60 views in less than 5 minutes. It was buffering, so we're restarting it. We're not going to restart the whole podcast, okay? We're going to start with the second topic. You can go back and look at the other one. This is just going to be part 2. Okay, we're going to go now to the Xbox One and 4K gaming. Get into this topic, guys, because on Twitter you have the Xbox fanboys lying or damage controlling about this console. For months, we had people saying native 4K. Phil said we are getting real 4K. Phil said native 4K. And this console will be using the same rendering methods as the PlayStation 4 Pro, called checkerboard rendering. We all know that. Now, I could care less, okay? I said from day one, I don't care about 4K gaming. You all heard me say that lots of times. It's too early for us to be talking about 4K gaming when we still have games running at 30 frames per second. Remember when Dreamcast, GameCube, and PS2 were doing 60 frames per second like it was nothing. But since the topic is about 4K gaming and the Xbox One X, which is anyway, what exactly are Xbox gamers paying for? In your opinion, guys, what are they actually paying for in getting an Xbox One X?
Better looking exclusives whenever they like first party games.
I think the better version of the multiplats. I think that's
but wait. But right now they don't have any exclusives, really. They
if you want to count like the PC or whatever like that, but I mean just like console exclusives. I mean we're talking like their first party games. Those are the ones that are going to benefit the most from the X. The multi-plat games, I've been trying to tell people this since day one that they started talking about the X. Their developers aren't going to do extra work for the Xbox One X, no matter how easy it is. They're just not going to do it. It's evident with the games that they showed off at E3. They were already running in dynamic scaling. They were already running in checkerboard rendering. They were already running at 30 frames per second. That's the exact same thing that's going to happen with the Pro. Now, sure, they might have maybe a few textures here and there that might be looking better. I don't know, because we haven't yet to see a comparison between the two. But for the most part, it's really not going to be that big of a difference. Most people aren't going to be able to tell from their TVs from a distance, and I'm not sure that the $100 is just $100 more is justified enough with the small amount of exclusives that Microsoft's put out that it actually balances out to make the console worth that price. Now I'm going to buy it because I just buy every console that comes out. But I mean, as far as like being realistically, if I just looked at it, it's better off to get a Xbox One S and just say forget it because it doesn't really do enough to warrant that price.
That's exactly what I was. That's exactly what I was saying. If you're gonna get anything, get an S. What about you? What about you, Frozen? What do you think about this?
Me personally, I don't see a reason to get an Xbox at all. There's nothing on there that really there's nothing really on there that interests me like the 360 had. Like, 360 had Last Remnant, Enchanted Arms, Eternal Sonata, a lot of JRPGs on that console, and I don't really see a lot of the way they're going with the One X and the One S. It's not really for me, like anything on there. But everyone, even Phil, even said the One S is going to sell better. And let's not keep in mind that the Pro is probably going to be a price drop. And you're going to have a lot of consoles out there. You're going to have the Slim, the S, the Pro, and the X, and you're going to have the Switch. So you got to look at that. The X is going to be the most expensive thing in the holiday. And, and then there's games coming out. And then, like parents out there are going to look at the price. And they're going to be like, well, the S is $200 and the X is $500. And then what about these games? I need to pick up like 2 games. They're going to end up just picking up the S. Looking at it from a casual standpoint.
I've been saying that shit for a long time.
Well, the problem with the casual standpoint is they're not going to pick up an Xbox at all. When they go to pick up, when the X comes out, and they go out there to look, the casuals they play the multiplats, and they play, maybe one or two of them at the most, like per year. So whenever they go out to look at these consoles and say around November timeframe, they're going to see the Xbox One X there, and then they're also going to see Star Wars Battlefront 2 bundled with a PlayStation 4, maybe even a PlayStation 4 Pro at base cost, $299 or $399. You're going to see Destiny 2 bundled with a game, bundled with one of these consoles. You're going to see Call of Duty bundled with one of these consoles. And that's the casuals are going to say, or even their parents, they're going to be looking at it going, well, I can buy this console over here, this even a $200 Xbox One S, and then I got to buy the $60 game, and then I got to buy this other $60 game, or I can buy this one console actually that comes with one of the games I got to buy anyway for free, and I've got to, and then I can just buy one more game. So I mean, it's really going to be a struggle for the X actually to be releasing in the same time that all these other big multiplats are actually going to be bundled with a PlayStation 4.
And they're going to have a lot of custom consoles, like designs.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that even an interview I seen with Aaron Greenberg, they said that they're not focused on that, like doing custom consoles.
And I tell you what, man, I've been trying to say this about Xbox. Last generation, there was custom consoles out the ass. This generation
with Resident Evil was pretty nice.
Yeah, this generation, like you barely see anything. You see these special ones that they put on Twitter or whatever, retweet, and you can win this. But you never see anything in the stores where you can buy it. But you saw a ton of PlayStation 4s this generation. And I tell you what, I own 5 PlayStation 4s, but I've gone out and bought every single one of those custom consoles. So I mean,
why did you do that, Rambo?
I love them, man.
He likes buying new stuff, man. That's why.
And I mean, if I guarantee you, like if Xbox came out with like these custom consoles for these games, I was really hoping for a Tomb Raider custom console. Even though I had one, I mean, I was still going to go out and buy one.
They do have a Tomb Raider custom console, but you can only win it. It was
that was the problem.
There was non-gamers buying that Star Wars one. People that aren't even gamers.
Yes, yeah, and look that's what the Xbox One X is going to go up against. Is Star Wars Battlefront 2 custom console. I guarantee you. And how many people are? I mean, look how many people bought the Star Wars Battlefront 1 one that weren't even gamers. I mean, we're talking like that thing's going to go.
Battlefront but you got to also remember it sold like hotcakes, but it went back to GameStop and Best Buy and Amazon.
That doesn't matter.
Too.
That doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter. Explain to me why that matters whenever Sony's already got their money from it.
Yeah, that's fine. If Sony got the money from it, but I mean, like I'm talking about the game standpoint. I'm not talking
about right out by the movie. The movie's going to push that game to sell.
Oh yeah. I mean that thing's gonna be gonna sell like hotcakes, man.
Yeah, but like I said, man, the Xbox One. If y'all talking about the Xbox One, the Xbox has fake 4K. The Xbox One X does. It's 4K upscaling.
Now let's not get this twisted here because they are going to have native 4K games. Crackdown is going to be native 4K.
But the problem is though, that's not the problem. The problem is though, is they're lying to people saying it's going to be native 4K, 60 FPS all across the board.
Okay, wait a minute. First of all, the execs never said 60 frames per second. They've been saying true 4K, true 4K, true 4K.
They said highest frame rates, but I think they were talking about a game with that little.
They're just saying, they just said highest frame rates. They never said like what those. I mean, 30 could be the highest it could go. Then they wouldn't be lying. They never said a specific number for frame rate.
But why is the fanboys? So the Xbox fanboys are lying, talking about they're talking about.
It was the Xbox fanboys that's taking that out of context. But whenever they said true 4K, to most most layman people, they think true 4K means kind of like whenever you saw a 720p TV that was HD, and then a 1080p TV which was true HD, meaning that's where you got the full HD experience. That's what people thought whenever he was saying true 4K, is that they meant the full on native 4K, and it's just not going to be that for every single game. Now they are going to actually have more games that are native 4K than the PS4 Pro. But it's not going to be every single game. And
Rambo, I'm gonna hate to cut you off. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. Everyone in the chat, I'm not trying to be funny here because this is the day. Well, I'm tired and I don't feel like talking shit. Hey, be more respectful in the fucking comments, okay? Jonah, whatever the fuck you're trying to talk shit about, man, you really need to chill the fuck out, dude. I don't know how old you are or whatever, dude, but that little childish shit you're doing, man, you really need to chill the fuck out with it. Because like I'm not pissed off about it, man, because I don't really care. But you do that shit every fucking time you come into the chat, bro. You do that shit every fucking time, man. And that is extremely fucking childish. And you're talking about I'm trolling you. You come here all the time and you bring my fucking name up before you say anything. That makes me feel like you're trolling me. So if you don't like people trolling you, don't bring their fucking name up in the comments acting like you're saying some shit. That makes me feel like you're trolling me. Because every time you say some shit, you got my fucking name in your mouth, bro. Shut the fuck up, man. I don't like that bullshit. You pissing me off for real. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm being dead ass serious. Chill the fuck out with this shit. That shit is not cool as fuck, bro. You and that little fuck ass dude named Donald, where the fuck your name is. My bad, Rambo.
Dude, I'm not like I'm
my
not.
bad to me too. This is my podcast,
Yeah,
and you're cussing out the wazoo.
I was gonna say like you like.
So I get nothing. All right, no, it's all right. Just leave it go. Just go. Rambo, continue.
No, that shit is just not cool, man. I don't like that shit.
But you should apologize to the whole panel.
No, I apologize for that, but that's not fucking cool. He does that shit every fucking time.
Just ignore it, man. We've talked about this 500 times. Just ignore it. Yeah. Don't even look at the chat, man. Just leave the damn chat alone. Don't even look at it. Let the moderators handle the chat. That's what they're for. Just ignore it. That's what they want, man. You give this to them every single week. Why do you think they come back and do it?
No, the fact is Jonah does this. I'm talking about Jonah. Like you guys personally, like shit is fucking annoying, dude. Like he.
But you got to realize something. Rambo's trying to tell you. Rambo's trying to tell you something. Rambo's saying if that's the person that does it every week.
We have to pause the podcast. We have to pause the podcast every week to talk to the chat about the trolling. Just leave them alone. Quit it. Just ignore them.
All right, my bad. I'm sorry. I hate that. I hate I even did that shit. My bad. I'm sorry.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on.
Yes, please.
Well, I do have a question before Rambo. You continue because I think you would have an answer for this one, and so some of the other guys would too. But what do you think about? Because since we're talking about Xbox and all that shit, what do you think the Xbox fanboys? They've been talking about the Xbox One X, and they attacked Ryan McCaffrey.
Who's that guy?
You know, I saw that today because apparently he had a podcast last night, the Unlocked podcast or whatever, and I guess he was talking about the price point of the One X and how it really doesn't fit into the console space right now, like where everything's priced at. And so he was thinking that it possibly is not going to do as well as it could if it was priced $100 cheaper. And I haven't heard the podcast myself, but that was the gist of what I got from reading the comment section. And I was appalled, man. It's like this man has made a complete living off of writing nothing but good for Xbox. He is the head of the Xbox writing division for IGN. He has never slated Xbox in any way. He's never been a fanboy in any way at all. He's actually just been very fair and open. And like he's been praised, I guess, last generation as a pretty much this Xbox god. You know, everybody loved Ryan. Everybody loved Ryan. And now, since like all of a sudden, like he actually comes out with a couple of critiques about he never said anything bad about the console, never said anything bad about Xbox at all, just the price point. And these people are already like throwing him under the bus. Like I saw somebody telling him, now get this, he's the head writer at IGN, been there for many years. And somebody told him, just because you don't have the money to buy this console doesn't mean the rest of us don't. So therefore you shouldn't be complaining about it. And I'm thinking, dude, this motherfucker probably makes more money than you make probably in a month than what you make in a year. Like
he probably makes more than what all of us make in a year.
Exactly. So I mean, I don't understand that concept. Like, why attack this man because he questioned the price?
It's because he's like in the spotlight, so that people think they can do that. You know.
I
question the spotlight. I mean, I've questioned the price point.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody should. It's not like people. I mean, these people are like so blinded by like their loyalty that they're like. I guarantee you, Xbox could have released this damn console at a $2,000 price point, and they still would have been praising it. Like it just doesn't matter to them. Like they're so blinded by this blind loyalty towards Xbox that anybody, even the most faithful Xbox person, speaks out against anything critiquing Xbox or Microsoft in general. And it's like they're an automatic pony. They're an automatic troll. Their opinion is no longer valid at this point. And it's like, how do you go 20 years or whatever, 17 years supporting, this person, and then the one time he says, maybe this isn't really a good idea, bam, you're ready to call him names and everything else like that. It blows my mind. This hive mentality. This cult.
Remember, you got that right, because that happened to me too. It happened to me too. A lot of people stopped talking to me because I was critiquing something that I personally had a problem with when it came to Xbox. So they did the same thing to me.
It's freaking wild, man. And it's like it's a cult mentality. Like if you know anything about like the Westboro Baptist Church, how they like go around and picket like soldiers' funerals and stuff like that, and like they have these nasty signs and stuff like picking and stuff. That's a cult, and Xbox reminds me of the Westboro Baptist Church. Like they only believe what they want to believe, and anybody who believes different needs to be shut down and never heard from again. It's so reminiscent of like the actual Nazi movement back then, as far as like how it all started with the speech, like how they stopped people from talking just because they disagreed with something. It's just so scary that they are have this mindset over a fucking console.
A piece of plastic. It's plastic.
It is.
It can break.
Even if these consoles, take for instance, they're an Xbox fan, right? But I guarantee you, like they always talk about the PlayStation games, whatever. They don't like them. And that's fine. I don't care if you like them or not. But I guarantee you that their loyalty to that plastic would change if every one of those games that are on Xbox switched over to PlayStation and PlayStation games switched over to Xbox. They're loyal to the games, but they got blinded so much by their game that the love for their games that they make that they're attaching it to the console rather than the actual games that you play on it. It's nothing without games.
Rambo, you're absolutely right about that, because I remember well over a year ago, when I call it soccer cars, okay? Was on PlayStation. I'll never play that. I'll never play it. It's a game sucks. Blah, 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 blah. Those same people, as soon as it came to Xbox, it was one of the top sellers on Xbox. But the same people were saying I hate it.
Exactly, still is. And those same people that were saying they hated it are now playing it almost every day.
I didn't like it because it's not my type of game, so I said I would never play it, and I still haven't played it. And I play on PlayStation too. I didn't even buy it for PlayStation. I just don't like the game. It's just not for me. I'm glad they're having fun with it. For me, it just wasn't my type of thing, so I just didn't do it. I never went back on my word. I just don't like it. I don't. There are probably games you play, Rambo, that I may not enjoy playing, or Magnum, or Demetrius, that I don't want to play. You know what I'm saying? It's just that I don't. It's just not for me.
Well, yeah, and I would never judge you based on what games you play. Even if you play, I know a lot of people that are good friends of mine. I love Uncharted. I love Last of Us and all that. They've been outwardly open that they don't care for those games at all. I have no ill will towards them at all. It doesn't bother me at all that you don't like it. That's perfectly fine. But if all of a sudden Uncharted appears on your console of choice, and then all of a sudden you love it, then I have a problem. I don't have a problem that you love the game. I just have a problem with your hypocrisy.
Exactly. No, you hit it on the head, because I've been saying that for a while, so I'm glad somebody else thinks like I do. Because it's crazy. They do this all the time. If it's a multi-plat, and it comes to Xbox, well, then it's a cool game. But if on Sony the game's, how would you know if the game's if you never even played it?
Yep, and that one of the things that I actually saw somebody call it out, and I actually was tweeting back to the guy that called it out, but then Rand jumped in because it was Rand's video, and Rand was talking about, like, you know, I guess he did a video, I guess you even called him out on, about how the whole calling out Sony for false advertisement for dynamic 4K, and he thought it was funny that they were advertising dynamic 4K, and that they could possibly even sue them for false advertisement. You know, possibly. He might be stretching there, but that's what he was saying. He was saying that over and over again in this video, and I have yet to see a video from him, and I respect Rand completely 100%, because I find him being one of the few and only Xbox channels that I can actually go to and feel like I'm actually getting a legitimate fan of gaming, rather than just a fan of a piece of plastic. So this is just one of the off things. I do have a right to actually critique what I see from him, but one thing I haven't seen yet from him is saying anything about true 4K, true 4K, true 4K, true 4K, or checkerboarding. It just, to me, it seems like that there's a double standard there with him as well. And I understand that he does, you know, have more of a preference on the Xbox, so maybe that might be the reason why. Or, you know, since he actually is in direct contact with Phil and all them, maybe he doesn't feel like doing a video, because if they watch it, then it might cause friction between there. Whatever the case is, I just noticed that was like a really odd thing for him to do, because he always was a very balanced person, and for him to call out the dynamic 4K is funny and, you know, laughable, and then with the true 4K, and then like here you are with dynamic, you're here with checkerboarding, you're here with 30 frames per second. It just seems like instead of like, you're just glossing over it. Now all of a sudden everybody's okay with checkerboarding. Everybody's okay with dynamic 4K. It's like, we don't need every game to be native. Checkerboarding's okay. You know, like, no, it's not, because you've been like harping on me, like telling me I'm playing a trash ass game because it's checkerboarding, and now all of a sudden checkerboarding's okay because you got it. Like, I personally, I don't care. I mean, it could be, to me, I'd rather it be 1080p 60 frames per second, but it's just so hypocritical. Like, how are y'all okay, like, it's dogging people for dynamic 4K and checkerboarding 4K, and then all of a sudden you get it, and it's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's great, man. I'm glad. It's best. It's up to the developers. Like, I love that key. It's up to the developers.
Yeah, I agree with that. Before we go any further, Rambo, before you can continue, because I like what I have to say. One thing I will say to you is, you're like me. You don't actually just outright you're critiquing. Critiquing is different than bashing somebody.
Oh yeah, I don't bash anybody. I don't bash the console at all. I just critique it.
No, I'm not. When you're talking about what people say, you critique what they say. You're not bashing them.
Oh,
you're critiquing their comment.
No, yeah, I respect Rand completely.
I do want to say, we do have somebody that has joined us. Okay, Grimy has joined us, but I do want to say something. I'm going to apologize to the chat, and I shouldn't have to, but I'm going to do it because it's my podcast with Demetrius Rudeness, and he just walked out on the podcast and didn't say nothing. He just dropped out. He sent me a message that I can't handle the stuff in the chat. Like we said, don't look at the chat. I don't pay attention to chat like that unless somebody is saying something that we need to know about or asking us questions. So I apologize. I think maybe it's time. Maybe like Rambo, you said, he does this every week. Maybe he needs to take a break and just concentrate on work for a couple weeks or something. I don't know. I'll figure that out. But
I don't know what's got into him where he.
Don't know either.
It
bothers me because he's never been like this, and
I'm just tired of. I just get tired every time I'm on here that he's always like stopping the podcast for a 20-minute rant towards the people that are supporting us. I mean, sure, they're technically like trolling, but at the same time they're giving you a view. So I mean, why do I?
Listen,
who cares?
First of all, it's only one person, and these two has always been going back and forth, even in chats when we were on PlayStation. Come on, just leave it alone.
Yeah, just let them have their thing, man. Like that's what they want to do. As long as they're not abusing other members, then
exactly.
Then at that point, all you got to do is just mute them. Don't talk to them, because then if you give them credence, then it gives them reason to do it.
So we want to apologize because, you know, Rambo's always here with me too. Grimy pops in once in a while, and Frozen Magnum's been popping in here and there now too. But I want to apologize being the host to anybody in the chat. I do apologize, but we're going to move on from here. Enjoy the podcast. And if you have any questions, just let us know, okay? But anyway, let's move on to another topic real quick to keep us moving here. Now, this is a good one because I'd like to really know your guys' thoughts on this, especially you, Rambo, because you go back a ways, and I think Grimy does too. But the big news this week was Atari's making a new home console, but just to make sure it's not a throwback console, I looked it up, and it does say a brand new console. Now, I'm still wondering what the specs will be and what kind of games it will have. I would love to see a new company come into the console gaming and offer something different. I really do. So, guys, what are your thoughts on Atari making a new console? Okay, and what type of games do you think will be there?
Well, I guess since you like directed it towards me, like with Atari, they had some classics. I like Pitfall and everything else. It's something that I desperately love. Now, would I want to see that type of content return? No, because it just, and what is it, the 6-bit or 8-bit era? I don't think that would do well in today. I don't know really what they could release as far as console wise that would be even worth picking up. It's definitely going to have to be a wait and see because I don't know any Atari IP that, unless Atari's just been doing something like completely weird. And then been working on all these games behind the scenes, and they have all these massive, beautiful games. I just don't know what they could be working on that would entice somebody to buy their console right now. I think they're entering the console space in a very, I guess, pre-dominated time where Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo have got their foot, and that they've got their fans, and that is just it. I don't know if there's a space for another console, and if there is. They're going to have to do something either comparable or completely 100% different than what the other consoles are doing. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm actually really interested in. I want to be able to see what's going on, but I can't for sure say that it would be like a day one for me. If they were doing a throwback console, like to where they were, kind of like the Nintendo Classic, that'd be a day one for sure. Because then I could play my Pitfall, I could play my Pac-Mans and
Rambo,
my Dig Dugs and stuff like that.
Rambo, before you continue, I don't know what to do here. This thing is buffering again. We lost almost all the viewers again.
Sure.
This is starting to get on my nerves with YouTube. We've never had this issue before. People sent me messages. We've lost everybody except 8 people. And over 40 people, 50 people.
Yeah, I noticed that now. 7 people are watching. When just a minute when I looked, it was 40 or whatever.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. I don't even know how they lose them that even that quick.
They're saying it's buffering so bad that they can't hear, so they're dropping out.
Oh well, yeah, that makes sense. If they can't hear, then
it's probably YouTube. It's if anything, it'll catch up when it's over, and
it'll catch up when it's over. So.
Because when you the last one we did a few minutes ago, it's probably all caught up and they can probably hear everything there.
All right, so they just have to go back and rewind. I would like it live, but all right, let me make that announcement.
Well, no, everybody's saying it's back. Everybody's saying it's back now.
All right, it's back now. All right, so guys, whoever didn't, if you're coming back and listen to, we apologize, but this is YouTube. It does catch up, like you were just informed. It does catch up. I'm sorry. We're doing our best, but. Make that announcement.
Well, no, everybody's
send that message to YouTube and tell them to stop when you listen to a podcast. You're enjoying yourself and they're messing it up for you. All right, but Rambo, go ahead, continue. You were saying about the Atari thing.
Yeah, but just if they did from what I heard, they were doing 2 consoles, like a throwback one and a new one. I don't know if the throwback one was actually 100% legit yet. I know the new one is because I've seen the commercial for it. But if I really want the throwback one, because
actually they said I thought it was going to be a throwback, but I looked up the article and said it's not a throwback. It's going to be a new one.
Yeah, no. I've heard that there's actually a new one and a throwback one, 2 of them.
Oh, I didn't hear that. No, I didn't hear that.
I know the new one is real because I've seen the commercial for it.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
Hey, what's up, Mr. William?
No, you're fine.
What's up, y'all?
I've seen the commercial for the new one, so I know that one's real. I haven't seen anything yet for the throwback one, but I'm hoping the throwback one actually comes out because I want to be able to play Pitfall and Pac-Man and Dig Dug and Galaga and all those games again that I used to play back on the Atari 2600. But I cannot for the life of me, I can't seem to find a decently priced Atari console right now for me to go back and play those games. So that's the reason why I'd be in line, like, yeah, even if it sold out like the Nintendo Classic did, I would be in line fighting people to get my hands on one. The Atari was like one of my favorite. Yeah, it was one of my favorite consoles.
You're gonna hit one of those little kids wanting to play the old.
Oh
stuff,
hell
right?
yeah, I would. I'd knock them out just so.
Oh, keep going.
I want my Pitfall, man. I want to be able to play Pitfall, and I can't. I've been looking all over these little third party shops looking for Ataris, and people are wanting like $300 or $400 for them. I'm like, man, it's not worth that much. I'm just gonna be playing a couple of games. I'm not buying I'm just giving you money just because you think it's worth that much. But
yeah,
if I ever found one that's cheap enough, I definitely would pick it up. But if not, I'm definitely looking forward to a possible throwback console from them. But their new console, I'm just going to have to wait and see what they do, because I don't know what type of games that they could do, because the only thing I've ever seen from Atari is 8-bit. So okay. I've never really seen what they can do as far as their graphical power,
Okay. Before we move on to the other members, I just want to say hi to HP. He's in the chat supporting us, and happy birthday. But anyway, yeah, so Frozen, what do you think about the Atari?
Atari's before my time, but if anyone was to come back, I think I would like to see Sega come back. I want to see all these companies come back and just, I want to see what would happen if they would all come back. Who would be up and who'd be down? I think it's good for the market, more competition. But I don't think there's enough room to have people competing.
You're kind of agreeing with Rambo on that one.
Yeah, there's not enough room, but I want to see what they're gonna do. I didn't grow up with Atari. I started on Super Nintendo, so I'd like to see what they offer.
Well, I know all about this because I have. If people go back and listen to my story that I did, I have older siblings, and they had all this shit. So they kept theirs, so I got to learn from the old stuff before I got into it. That's where they taught me. They saved their stuff and gave me their stuff so I could play. So I know a little bit. I didn't, grow up on that completely, but that's how I started learning with their old consoles. They had them in storage for me. So, Mr. Corleone, what do you think about Atari thinking of making a new console? You here, Mr. Corleone?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, what's up? I'm here. To each his own, man. When it comes to that, because at the same time they tried to make the Jaguar, and that was negative. So I mean, I give them a shot. If they come out with something and it's decent, but it's like, damn, I remember playing Pitfall over my cousin's crib when I was a kid. I don't know if they can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You're
talking like Rambo. He'd rather a throwback than a new one.
Yeah, similar.
He want to play his Pitfall.
I ain't gonna lie to you, because I mean, shit. That's all I played was Pitfall.
Well, I don't know if you heard.
I didn't even like Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man on the Atari. I only liked it at the game room. So yeah.
You just heard him though, right? He just said if they put a throwback, he'll smack a little kid to get his.
Oh yeah.
But if they come out with some dope shit, you gonna buy it too, though. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
we gotta give them a chance. I mean, like they say, competition is good. So if Atari can come out with a system and it can actually compete with these other blockbuster systems, that'll be a plus for us.
Watch them come out, and they'll be the only true native 4K 60 frames per second console. I'll be damned if that happens, man.
Yeah. But I mean, the big question is like, who's gonna make their games? Are they gonna make their games? Are they gonna have third-party licensing? Like, how's that gonna go?
Yeah, that's the big question there. It's like, because their games, I mean, like Pitfall, they could do in a 3D open world type thing, I think. But the rest of their IPs were all like Galaga and stuff like that. I couldn't see that ever be like transferring over into today's graphics. So I don't really know how their IPs would actually, or they're not really their IPs, but the games they had on there could transfer over into today's graphical setting. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with them.
Hey, Grammy, what are your thoughts? You haven't been talking.
Nah, I'm over here playing this game. I don't want to Uncharted, man. I just bought a PS4 again, so I'm playing this Uncharted for the first time.
Pull over now. He just bought another one.
But I don't want to see Atari come back because I feel like once you're out of the loop, so to speak, for a certain amount of time, you know, what are you going to bring, you know, the public? What I've been saying for years is that there's only one company that I feel could even put up a fight against Sony worldwide. You know, it doesn't look like Xbox or Microsoft can in terms of console arena, but I want a console from Apple. Like, I think that Apple is, you know, they're a tech giant. You know, they're innovative and coming out with, you know, just tech that is consumed worldwide. And if they were to ever get the right people or open a division for a gaming division, like, that's the only company that I would want to see either enter in, or in terms of Atari, enter back in. Like, you know, they can put out a classic Atari and it can sell, you know, to old people. Like Atari, I would say, like, people that are maybe 35 and up, 40 and up, played the Atari.
Why is it gotta be for older people?
Because I don't think that, because just like Colion was
Maybe
saying, like, I don't
want to try some of that stuff.
Nah, because nobody wants to play Pong. You know, nobody who didn't play the first Pitfall. They like,
nobody wants to play Pong. I'll play the shit out of Pong, man. I loved it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, older, like, people
that was
who
my
played
first
it.
console, man.
Oh, he just called you old, Rambo.
Yeah, I am old, man. I am older than you know, what you would consider the gaming demographic. I'm just messing with you.
I'm just messing with you, Grammy.
The Pitfall I played was on a Super Nintendo. I don't even remember the Pitfall that was on.
You probably weren't born when the original Pitfall came out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I don't think, like, I was born in '86. So, like, I don't, you know, when I started gaming, my first console was the original Nintendo. But really, in terms of, like, gaming, like, me actually, like, my first memories and you know, the games that I loved as a kid were all on the Super NES. So, like I said, and like the Pitfall that I remember wasn't like, you know, an 8-bit game. It was, you know, 16 with the SNES. So
shit, that shit was 6-bit, 4-bit. The original one.
So Atari, you know, they can. This is kind of like, you know, a lot of people are saying, if you suffer from nostalgia and you want to go back and play those games, then that's great. But me personally, I don't see it putting any type of dent in the stranglehold that the two top, you know, console makers have. Like I said, the only company I could see that ever would even put up any type of a fight as a new challenger would be Apple. So.
That'd be dope if Apple. That'd be surprising. That's
yeah.
The scary thing about
I didn't expect Kramer to say that. That came from left field.
The scary thing
like,
about
yeah, I've been thinking, like, I've been saying that for years. Like, I want to see a console from Apple just because, you know, they are Apple. You know,
they are, but you got to be careful what you wish for there, because if you look at, like, they have like a very closed platform. I'm like, we're like a PlayStation and Xbox are a closed platform, but their stuff is even more closed and more restrictive, and they could actually be damaging to the industry, because I think that, like, they have enough money to go out, and they aren't really interested in sharing shit with, you know, other platforms. So they would go out, I think, and use their money to buy up IPs like Tomb Raider or Hitman, the games that we've all came to love, just to make it exclusive to their platform only. And that might be a danger, and you know, just one of those things that it'd be interesting to see where they go. But just seeing Apple's history with their own products, it's kind of a scary thought.
I'm speaking strictly in terms of just
yeah, you are right. I think they're the only company that could ever really give Sony a run for their money. And the reason why I say that is because Microsoft doesn't seem to have the world appeal that Sony does, and Apple does. Apple is loved in Japan and everywhere else. So, I mean,
that's true.
I think that the only one that could actually give Sony a run for their money would be Apple, but yet that would be, man, that would be a scary time. I don't know. I'd be kind of nervous with them coming into it, but
I think they'll probably make a dope handheld. I wouldn't see them making a console, but I could see them making a dope handheld, just off the strength of how strong the iOS, with all the apps that they have. I could see them making a strong handheld, but that's all here and there. We're just talking.
That would be interesting, an Apple handheld, because I mean, basically, all your games are apps anyway right now. So yeah, that would actually work really good with their app store and everything else. If they could actually have an app store for actual, the true handheld games rather than the just mobile games.
Now that would be something interesting to see. It really would. Like you said, console, I could see what you're coming from with that, Rambo. Handheld would be interesting because it would be different. It wouldn't be competing with the console itself. So that would be interesting. Very interesting. See, that's why I like you guys coming here, because you can bring up some interesting stuff that we're talking about. That's good. I got another topic, which is Sega, because Sega will be doing almost like a Netflix service for their games. And I know some people have no problem with it. To me, it's a bit late right now for them to release a catalog of games when we have all owned a Sega game into a console for years now. Okay, but I also think it could be a good thing if the Sega Saturn library is able to be played in its entirety. When Sega launches this, what games would you guys want on Sega Forever? And if you're going to use the service, what would you want to see? And
oh man,
I want to see the Sega Saturn entire library and play it in its entirety. That I would want to see.
Yeah, that'd be dope, man.
Yeah,
put the whole library on there. Why not?
Yeah. I think that's what they're eventually going to do. I'm not sure if they're going to go all the way up to the Sega Saturn or not.
Burst my bubble, Rambo.
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard like any plans of that yet. But right now they're just talking about like the regular Sega Genesis games, and it's going to be interesting. I'm actually downloading it on my phone to see what because it's a mobile thing, but you can hook up your PS4 controller to it. So I'm going to give it a shot because I love Sonic, and they're free, and all you got to do is put up with an ad here and there. And if you don't like it, it's $1.99 to buy the game without an ad.
Yeah, and a lot of people are gonna do that anyway. They're gonna pay that $1.99.
Oh yeah, that's not that much. That's not much at all to get rid of an ad. It bills to anything I purchase on my phone bills to my phone bill. So it's like free money up front.
Right.
I don't even see the charges till my $1,000 phone bill comes in. So
You'll buy that many?
Oh yeah, I might make because
$1.99 a piece, and you're gonna have $1,000 phone bill. Damn, Rambo.
I love Sega, man. Sega has some really fun IPs. I don't ever see them being able to compete ever in the space between Xbox and PlayStation, but they would definitely give Nintendo a run for the money, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember they had great baseball, great basketball. Oh, yeah. They had all that shit, man.
I jumped from as soon as Sega Genesis came out, I jumped from Nintendo to Sega, and I pretty much stayed with Sega until PlayStation came out because.
Wasn't Rambo on Sega? Like it was kind of like a Akari Warriors type of.
It was that was a long time ago. Back in the day. That was an okay game. Now that then they made that Rambo this generation that was like on rail shooters, and it was like terrible.
That shit was trash.
Yes, it was.
I'm sure Rambo didn't like that because since he calls himself Rambo, so that really bugged him.
How are you gonna have like such an iconic person like Rambo and then put him in a damn on the rail shooter? I'm like, come on, man! You could have done an open world with Rambo and been perfect.
Sorry, it's just funny the way you guys say it.
Oh yeah,
it's funny, but it's true. Thoughts on this? Sega doing that Netflix service?
They should put it on the consoles.
You might see that happen later on.
depending on how it takes off. Let me ask y'all a question: is it $1.99 for each game,
Yeah,
or
each
is it
game.
$1.99 for the whole thing?
No, it's each game that you want without ads.
Yeah, that. Now that's kind of sucks because you got to pay $1.99 for each game to get that.
Yeah, $1.99 is nothing though for a game.
But how much are you paying for the
just-
service though? On
It's free. It's free.
Oh, it's free.
It's a free download. It's a free download. You don't even ever have to pay anything. You can play the games and just have the ad pop up. And I don't even know if they're an intrusive ad, like where they cover your screen or they just pop up at the bottom. Or you can just pay $1.99 for that game, and that's the only time you'll spend money is if you don't want ads on your game.
Oh, that's kind of dope. Yeah.
So that's not.
I think
that's not a bad deal.
Yeah, I don't see them. I don't. If this thing does well, they might actually just put it on like the PlayStation Store and Xbox Store, and just make it like a set price, because obviously they can't have ads on the PlayStation games or whatever when they're coming up. So make it like a set $30 price or whatever, or even a $60 price, and actually have access to all these games. And every time they add one, it adds to it.
Right.
I'd buy it.
I wish it wasn't on the phone though, because I don't like playing games on the phone.
I don't either. But just the fact that I can use my DS4 is.
Can you use it on a tablet?
Yeah, anything with Android or Apple. So I mean,
tablet's better.
Tablet.
Yeah, okay, so you get a phone. Yeah, a tablet's a lot bigger than a phone.
Oh, yeah.
So if you got a tablet, play it on your tablet.
You need to put that on the Switch, man. I'm telling you, I get it.
I'm a controller dude. I like using a controller.
Nah, that was
But
on the Switch.
you can use a controller with it. You can use it hooks up to your Bluetooth with your DualShock 4.
No, I would be interested in it, but only because like when you talk about saying, I want Genesis. I don't know if I want to go that far back. Now, if they brought like some Dreamcast titles,
well, they did say Dreamcast
like
stuff
Sega
was
Saturn,
going to the Switch, like the Virtual Console, like they were gonna have Dreamcast stuff on there. So I don't know how true that is, but that'd be dope.
That'd be good too. Whatever they can add would be nice. And like you said, if they do put an app in the stores on Xbox or PlayStation, that'd be nice too.
Is that where they got all that money from? Where they got that money? Because they got some money, right? And they said they're bringing back old IPs and stuff.
I think that's what they were bringing back is this mobile thing. I think that the rumor that people were like spreading out that it was coming back to old IPs were coming back to the consoles was a little bit like jumping the gun. I think this is the actual
people were
thing.
Saying that they were making games for Microsoft, like they're not the ones to make Scalebound to bring it back. And stuff
no, they're
like
not.
That.
They're not. This is what they were working on. This app to download their games on that.
So I don't want to just end the podcast. We had a lot of rough bumps tonight. Anybody got anything that they heard, even like Rambo with you, or anybody that plays on PC, any PC news or anything that I may have missed? I had a crazy week, so I may have missed some of the news that you guys want to bring up.
Switch sold 1 million in Japan.
Yeah, that's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is impressive.
That's impressive. Yeah, the Switch selling that much in Japan. That's impressive.
It's continuing.
Okay.
How is that impressive?
It's impressive because it seems like the Nintendo
it's the home base.
Well, yeah, but Nintendo actually finally. I mean, Nintendo didn't even. I mean, they didn't even like the Wii U in the home base. You know what I mean? They've actually figured out a way to to appease their fans there. So I mean, it's actually a good thing for them. It's surprising because I really thought the Switch was going to pretty much be dead on arrival.
It's fun, man. I picked one up last week. I'm enjoying it.
I think everybody can agree that they're doing what we thought they weren't gonna do. We thought it was gonna be like the Wii U, but they've kind of, went over the expectations. Everybody's expectations were real low. So now that they're bringing out games, you still got to work through all these other little minor setbacks, but with the headphones jack and all that shit. But other than that, I mean, they doing good. People are buying it. They showed some good IPs coming out, even though it's next year. I mean, that's what E3 is. They show what's coming out next year out in the future. So
yeah.
I think they're doing good. I think they're doing good. They're doing better than Microsoft. No,
they got a big game every month. We got a big game every month on the Switch coming out. So
yeah.
I think that was the only problem, with Nintendo for these last few years is that they weren't giving games. Like once
once they, started giving you games that, you could, put on the calendar and say, okay, yeah, this is going to be here and such,
Too many droughts.
You're going to get that, people coming back to, especially in Japan, and the people that have just been like just laying in the waits, like just waiting for Nintendo to make a comeback. Like, oh, we got a new Zelda game, and of course, any Mario franchise, but oh, it looks like they're gonna get some third-party support. We're gonna get a Skyrim. We're gonna get, or whatever.
It's gonna take time, though. Like, people can't expect it to be like right off the rip,
Right.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
That's the reason why I'm gonna hold off my judgment for the Switch like after a year or two after them being out.
Like,
what kind of
Nintendo's doing everything on their own right now.
Yeah, I want to be able to. I want to be able to see what they garner, what kind of support they garner over the next year, maybe 2 years.
They have to prove to everyone that that their consoles, people are buying it and stuff like that. It's true, but people are buying
it.
So.
They have to prove themselves after the Wii U.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I need to see more from them before I go out and buy one. It's not like I may never not do it, but like you all just said, they have to prove themselves after the Wii U. They do. Because they kind of messed shit up with that.
Yeah, well, I felt screwed by getting a Wii U because that was the worst time. Like, you would go to the store and like for months and months and months and never see a new game.
You know why? Because all the 3DS games they were making 3DS stuff and they were like basically siding the Wii U.
Exactly. That's what it blew my mind. Why couldn't they port some of those 3DS games over to the Wii U just to give us something in the meantime? It was so
hold us over for a while.
It was so disappointing.
It was besides us bringing up subjects, Rambo, if you want to check the chat, because I know you're good at that stuff too, and bring up some stuff, because maybe we should, because some people are bringing up topics and giving us news information. Like, there's one guy, hopefully I'm saying your name right. Nick Crow 13, I think I'm saying it right. He was saying that Players Unknown Battlegrounds, which is for Xbox,
was actually right. Well, right now it's only on PC, but it sold 4 million units in 3 months, which is really damn good. It's actually still I think number 1 on the Steam games list, even though it's not on sale with the Steam sale. So
it's
that says a lot.
On Twitch, like right now.
On Twitch is like top 5 all day, every day.
Yeah, it's a very popular game, and I'm glad that it's only a timed exclusive because I'm glad everybody's going to get a chance to play it.
Oh, so it is coming to the PlayStation?
Yes. Yeah, it's coming to the PlayStation.
Whenever they announced it, like the guy kept saying exclusive for some reason, and so did Phil. But if you watch the announcement, the trailer right before it says console launch exclusive.
Yeah.
So and most indies,
I didn't know either.
If you look at indies, unless you have an indie published by Sony or published by Microsoft, most indies will start on one console but then go to both. Their indies are looking to get their game in as many gamers' hands. They're not really looking to lock it down with exclusivity because they're wanting the most money so that way they can make another game. So it's just a timed exclusive for right now. I think it's just money situation where they worked out a deal where it was cheaper for them to launch on Xbox first. But it looks fun. It's like one of those games that I can't wait to play.
I want to try it out too when it gets to the PlayStation.
The reason why I don't play shooters on PC is because I suck with trying to get, I get killed too many times with a mouse and keyboard. So as soon as it comes to Xbox, I'll probably buy it there and then buy it on PlayStation when it gets there because it really looks like a lot of fun. So it's actually really good to see that it's actually getting a lot of support because this actually came from DayZ. This was actually a mod where somebody modded the game DayZ that we all know that was supposed to be rumored to come to console for many years ago, and it still hasn't happened. But the game is the game DayZ is pretty much trash. So this guy modded DayZ to create this game, and now has actually turned around and made it its own damn game and has sold 4 million copies. That right there says a lot about the modding community within the PC community.
That's true. Now I just got to do this because somebody in our chat that supports us he made it funny. He just said. His name is Robin McLeod, and he just said, breaking news. Sony is working on the PlayStation 5. You need to. Now.
They already been working on it for a long time.
They came out and said that they are definitely working on it.
I was making it. Yeah. I was teasing him only because he was trying to liven up stuff.
Yeah, one other thing they said was I guess IO Interactive, the people who make Hitman are now fully independent, but they were able to actually retain the Hitman IP. So that was actually really nice to see that Square Enix didn't take that from them.
Well, I think Square Enix has a lot. They don't really need it.
Yeah, but I was kind of worried whenever that separation was happening. That because a lot of times you see these companies that have been making these games forever that they just end up losing their IPs when they separate from their larger publisher.
You guys played it, man. What y'all think about it?
I'm not touching that. I'll wait till it's fully out.
The Hitman's fully out now.
It's fully out now.
Working on like another one though. Like they're not.
No, they're just working on extra, like basically extra content to add to it for free. So
I've been playing this free demo.
It's actually pretty good.
I'm actually gonna start playing it right now.
It's actually pretty good, man.
I think if you like Hitman, if you've been a Hitman fan, then you'll like this game.
Yeah, I want that extra content because I like Hitman, so I want that extra content.
But there are some people that have played, all the Hitmans that are waiting for it to, somehow evolve. I'm not a creator of content or anything like that, so I don't know in terms of video games. So I don't know how they would evolve a game like Hitman. It's pretty much, disguise, stealth.
He's a hitman.
Giving you a bunch of options to kill people and also giving you challenges. I don't know how much more they can expect from, such like it's a pretty like basic premise. But I've heard people say that they wanted to evolve and that's why they didn't pick this one up. And the whole episodic thing that
I don't like the DRM that they implemented. Like you got to be always online to play the game. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. I think it doesn't make sense in a little bit of ways because some of the content that they released, if you played it during the period of like whenever they were releasing the episodes, some of the content was an online only type of thing. So like what happened is like the in between like episodes, they would release like these live like week-long things that were basically where you go on and you had to kill. It was basically a celebrity. They had their own character in the game, and
like
then
a challenge or something.
Yeah, it was basically like a challenge. Yeah, for like, and then you got to vote on which celebrity you wanted to kill, and then that week, then whoever won, but that would be their story that was implemented, and you had to be online and connected, and that you just jumped in during that time frame, and you were able to play the game in that. So they added extra little tidbits in there, and that's the reason why I think the always online thing was a part of it. It just doesn't make as much sense now that the whole game is out that they still do that because they haven't added any more of those type of things in there yet. So maybe since they're still keeping the always online, maybe that's part of what they're gonna update stuff with. And those things were actually kind of fun. I played them a little bit while I was on PC, and those things are actually kind of fun doing the live real time, I guess, Hitman thing.
And I think if I remember correctly, like they had like user created content on there where they would have like you could kind of make your own scenario and upload it to their servers and have people kind of play your scenario in the game using the stuff that that Square would give you. So another reason why they might have had it always online.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And
does any? All right, go ahead, Rambo.
Oh no, EJ brought up something else that I know that we got some fighter fans in here, especially you, Titan 12. Capcom and Bandai Namco actually has agreed for a cross-licensing agreement between them two for them two to actually work together in making the online portion of their games better.
Oh, cool! That'd be nice.
I just want to know what Tekken X Street Fighter is because I've been waiting on that game. They said that game will be coming out once Street Fighter 5 and Tekken 7 came out. So
Tekken 7 just came out. So I mean, I
don't think it's coming out this year. I think it's.
I wouldn't look for it this year. Next year at the earliest, probably.
But I ain't gonna lie, I'm looking forward to that Dragon Ball Z more than anything.
Yeah, that one looked pretty good, man.
Dragon Ball Z looks great.
Yeah.
I'm not really even a fighter fan, but that one actually looked pretty good.
Titanfall, did you hear they're selling the COD 4 separate?
I was just about to talk about that. Damn,
no, go ahead. No, go ahead. I didn't hear about that. So go ahead and both of you speak your minds. Go ahead.
It's like $30. I think they're decided to sell separately finally.
Yeah, somebody says 40.
Okay.
It's $39.99.
Oh, yeah. $40. Okay. It doesn't include DLC, right? You probably have to buy that.
It includes everything that everything that came with it. Like if you bought there's really no DLC for COD 4. It comes with like the 10 multiplayer maps. And they didn't do any more extra DLC for COD 4.
That's good. Now I seen the demo. I seen the commercial. I was at work and I'm like, oh shit, because I called that. I said that they were gonna do that. I thought they were gonna announce it at E3, but they waited, a week after. So, yep. I can't wait. I'm buying that because that's why I didn't buy Infinite Warfare. I was like, I ain't buying that trash.
And a lot of people said that you wouldn't be able to get it standalone because it was locked under Infinite Warfare. I'm like, they're going to eventually sell it.
Everybody knew they was going to, they going to do it because Activision, they about that money. They don't give a fuck about us. All they care about is the money. So
I'm surprised they didn't remaster another COD and put it behind this one. Probably next year we'll get another one remastered.
I'm not even sure you will after the big huge backlash that they got from this one. I'm not sure you'll see another COD remastered. Man, they got so much hate from that, and they're never going to remaster one of the old good CODs and put it up for individual sale next to the new COD. It'll always be tied behind a new COD if they do it that way, because of the fact that it'll always outsell the new one. And that's not. I don't see that happening. I mean, I think
Black Ops was received well, so I think.
Yeah, I think they could. What they could do, and I think what they should do is like work on, like maybe a COD 2, like a COD remastered or Black Ops remastered, Black Ops 2 remastered, and maybe even put those out like in the early parts of the year, like maybe March or April, and then release the actual new COD in November like they always do.
Well, they still got to give us Modern Warfare 2 before they give us Black Ops, I think.
I agree.
A lot of people like World at War. I thought that was a great game.
That was a great game.
Yeah, that would be a good one to come back.
Yeah. And then some people like even the older CODs, like 1, 2, and 3. Like some people do like those. So.
Those were what got me into the COD storyline, because those things were really focused on the storyline, just co-op. Like if you did the online, it was mainly co-op kind of stuff. And so those really got me into the COD storylines, and I never really got into the multiplayer aspect because I just don't. I play too many games, so I don't have time to like really delve down into a COD game to get good at the multiplayer.
Yeah.
So I just play the story. So
Rambo, come on, you know the truth. You just didn't want your ass whooped.
Oh I do get my ass whooped plenty of times. I suck at it. Then I can't tell. Every time I play COD, I always figure out how many people my mom slept with. So.
Oh Lord, don't even go there. Listen, you do your own video on that. Okay? Let's keep it clean, guys.
That was crazy.
Oh, that took me to left field somewhere. Woo.
Oh shit! You just blew me.
He said that shit.
You're one of those kids, man. Like always something about like I fucked your mom or whatever. Like that. What? Like come on, man. Like you're 12.
Right. He ain't never seen pussy.
Yeah, it was like, like come on, man. It's just it's so tiring. The same old shit like every single time when you play COD.
But you know what? Nowadays you gotta be like, you ain't never smelled pussy. You can't say seen it because they can go online. Yeah. But you gotta smell it.
Hey, guys.
I'm sorry, Mom. My apologies.
But you know what though? You got a point. So I've already said that to some people that act a fool. I say you ain't seen it, you ain't been near it, you ain't been. Just shut up.
Hey, Titanfall, you can't be talking like that. You can't be talking like that. You know how you get down.
You be like, Have
you
you
need to
ever
be
smelled
quiet,
it
Grimy.
before?
I'm gonna get you, Grimy. You better shut up.
Say Titanfall sister could ask her, hey, Nancy, do I look good in this? What you asking me if I look good in this for? What am I, gay?
Hey, let me ask y'all a question. So, what
You're gonna
games are
start
y'all
that shit
playing?
again, Grimy. You're gonna start
just
on air. You better leave that alone, because I have a whooping for your ass. Trust me.
What games all y'all got? Like maybe it's some games that we can all play together one day or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like do a stream or something and chop it up and just talk shit.
If you're like,
they got that Killing Floors, it's for free.
Yeah, Killing Floor 2. I love Killing Floor 2.
Yeah, I got that.
I get in.
Free game, man. You can't.
Yeah,
you can't go wrong with that. That's one hell of a free game too. I'm gonna be getting Destiny 2. I'll be pumping a lot of hours into Destiny. So I mean, if
you get it on PC, ain't you?
I'm getting it on PS4, man.
PC,
man,
you gotta
did
wait.
you see how it looked on PC?
Yeah, on PC, I think you gotta wait though.
Man, on PC it looked ridiculous, man.
Oh, I know it does, and I want to get it there, but at the same time is that like everybody that I play with is on PlayStation, so I would be playing majority of the time by myself until on PC until I found a few people here and there to play with every once in a while. So I might eventually pick it up on PC to play because I'm not against playing it twice because I played Xbox One and PS4 Destiny back and forth, and I put a little over 5,000 hours into the game by itself.
Right.
So I mean, I'm not against buying it on the PS4 and PC, but I just got to wait to see like who gets it on the PC and like who I can play with because it's just boring as hell to play by yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah. Certain games you got to make sure, like especially if we play on like he plays on PC and console. It's different than you're talking about like people play on Microsoft and Sony. I mean it's different. You got your own group over there, and if people aren't playing that game, like you said, it's boring. It's boring.
Yeah,
pissing me off about these consoles because if they come out with the next generation, fuck that 4K, man. Just give me 1440p with 60 frames. And you can win some of them PC dudes to come over and play.
Oh yeah, because most PC dudes will actually even tell you that they'd rather play at 1440p than 4K.
Yeah, because it's like you're just trying to keep up with the TV Joneses, but you really need to know what I'm saying.
TV Joneses.
Yeah.
You really can't.
Down a block.
I mean, if anybody would actually, I mean, I wish more people would actually. I'm glad that you understand this, but it seems like I wish more people would understand that you're not going to be able to see a huge difference between 1440p and 4K. And actually, I think a lot of times that you can actually get games looking even better at 1440p than you can at 4K, just because you can put more into the actual assets and everything else than you can at 4K. Like it just takes too much power to run games at 4K.
Mm.
True.
Hopefully they go whenever they start announcing this shit, they get it together because they do. Don't nobody want 60 frames. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, what the hell, man? And I actually put a poll up, and it was overwhelmingly yes. But then I talked to people on Facebook, and they were like, I don't care about 60 frames. It doesn't need to be 60 frames. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
well, I think for like big open world games, they need to be 60 fighters and stuff. But like turn-based RPGs and stuff like that need to be 60. But like, if you got devs like Guerrilla Games that can make games feel like 60 and they're actually 30, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm not against it, but I mean, I'm just saying like you.
But I'll still take 60 over 30.
Yeah, if 60 was possible and they chose 30, I feel like that's a setback. Like if 60 was possible, you should have gone with 60.
Right. I just feel like it's so much arguing amongst the community over this whole 4K and all this shit, and it's like, look,
we get the game to work,
jump miles ahead. Like, come back, dial it back, give me 1440, and give me 60 frames, and you won't hear a peep out of me. Shit. Whatever that come out. Shit.
The way I look at it is PlayStation and Xbox, neither one of them were able to, and especially even none of these developers were ever able to actually master 1080p.
Right, exactly.
And so why do you think that if you cannot master 1080p, that all of a sudden you're going to be able to jump to 4K and be okay? Like
I'm pretty sure I think Splatoon 2 is going to be 1080p 60.
I don't know about that because like
remember that's what I was talking about earlier. They're talking about 4K to jumping ahead when you still got things at 30 frames.
Oh, I know. Like they should like the Pro and the X should have jumped out and said this is they should have mandated to every developer said you to put your games on this console, it has to be 1080p, 60 frames per second, ultra settings, no compromise.
Why can't they put like a toggle though? Like let everybody choose what they.
Yeah, even the toggle. Yeah, if you even had new games, I wouldn't even have a problem with like the way they're doing the X and the Pro if they had a little thing I can actually switch. And the Pro does on a lot of games, but where I can actually switch to like 1080p 60 versus the checkerboard 4K and 30. Because 4K, I mean, sure, it looks great with HDR, but damn, I'd much rather have the 1080p 60. It's just so much more smoother and so much more fluid with your controls and everything. I don't understand the push for visuals over the actual fluidity of the game.
Well, because console players have been playing at 30 for the last generation and a half. So what is 60? Like when someone says, "Well, what does 60 really mean to me?" What does it really mean to them?
Oh, this is true.
If you haven't been playing at 60 and you've just been playing at 30, like that's what my eyes are used to. Like where a PC guy can come in and say, "Oh man, what is this?" Like,
right, like we living in the Stone Age, and then you see some of their footage, and you like, damn, like look how this is.
I think it's all about just exposure, to just higher graphic fidelity and things like that. Because when you just as a console gamer myself, and I play a little bit on PC, but not enough that I would ever call myself a PC gamer or that I know enough about PC to talk about it. But just coming from that, like when you hear 1080p, 4K, whatever, like those are the things that I think matter to console people or console guys, because all they're thinking about is, oh, well, my TV is 1080p. Or my TV, I got a 4K TV. This will look good. Like I don't know any. Like my TV's not
though. Like
unless they really know about a TV in frames per second, then
I think for the most part, like the demographic of the PC gamers and the console gamers are completely different. Where I wouldn't say I'm not like when I say the word casual, I'm not using it in the term that we all term for casual gamers.
Right.
But I look at PC gamers as more of the higher end, more well in tuned consumer. Whereas not all of them, of course, this is not every single. Not speaking for the whole crowd, but in the console players being more of the your everyday consumer type thing, to where buzzwords like 1080p or full HD or 4K, like those type of things, like really, like you said, resonate with them because they can match it up with something in their house. So it really hits home with them more, and I think that like PC gamers have gone. They're the ones that have taken the time, because you have to most of the time build your rig if you're really going to save the money. And you've taken, I guess, time out of your day to do this and put more. You kind of put effort into getting your gaming, the thing you're gaming on and passionate about. You've taken time and put effort into it, so therefore you're a little bit more in tune with what quality is and what the different. You have a different level of quality, I guess. And I'm not saying they're better than anybody by any means, because I don't think that they are. I just think that they're just a different type of consumer. And I think that once a console gamer does switch over to the PC and they see that difference and they see all these PC gamers of some of these ones that are even assholes that even have been talking about forever, they're like, wait a minute, this actually is pretty nice. And then when they go back to console, they're actually starting kind of looking for that in their games, and that's where I think you're seeing a lot of console gamers stand up and actually ask for 60 frames. It's where most of these console gamers probably have played a game on PC here and there, to where they've actually seen what 60 frames can do and what higher graphic settings at 1080, even at 1080p or even 1440p, like you said, are look just as good, if not sometimes better than some of these games that are running at 4K, because they have to turn down some of the graphical settings to get there. So I think that's where you're seeing. I think that you're starting to see a mixture between. Used to there be PC only gamers, console only gamers. Now you're kind of seeing a multi-hybrid type of thing where they're both going back and forth. And I think that the more you'll see that, the more you'll start to see consoles catching up and following the kind of the footsteps of PC, to where they'll start following the performance over the picture quality.
For sure. Like once you expose yourself to to something better, it's harder to go back.
Yes.
Like just as humans in general, like if you go from living in your parents' house to maybe having an apartment to having a house, you kind of don't want to backtrack, and I think that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, and when even whenever you do backtrack, I mean, it's sometimes. I mean, it's like I went from PC like solely on PC back to PlayStation just because I really enjoyed. It's not that I don't play on PC. I play primarily now on PlayStation because I really wanted their exclusives, and I feel more at home with their exclusives because that's what I kind of grew up on.
No, you know what? You know why you're there? Because you love us over here. That's why.
I just feel like I want to see more. I want to see the consoles get better than what they are. I mean, like it seems like the narrative on them is so much pushing towards a visual experience rather than an actual overall experience. And I just think that what Phil said just kind of threw me for a loop. Is like gamers really don't care about 60 frames per second. I'm like going. Let the COD come out and then if they don't care about 60 frames per second, then why did he allow 343 to do dynamic scaling on Halo 5 to get 60 frames per second?
And he was talking about how Forza 7 was so beautiful in 60 frames. You can't
I'm like
60 frames, you know.
Like how are you going to say that and then turn around and say that they don't care about it? Like obviously you stress 60 frames.
You should ask him if he'll play Forza at 30 frames.
Yeah, I guarantee he won't.
That shit crazy.
I got a question because you guys mentioned this before.
Go ahead.
Games you mentioned was Killing Floor 2.
Right.
You guys let me know when we can hook this up. All of us play, and we can get online and talk shit, and we'll live stream it.
I'm down. I love Killing Floor 2, man. I'm like one trophy away from the platinum, so I definitely would do that.
Damn, you've been putting in work.
Yep.
You had it before it was free.
so you're all right. You not tonight, but you're all in agreement that we could do this. Over the next week sometime.
Oh, definitely. Let me know. Yeah.
All right. We got Rambo. Who else? We got Rambo in on that.
Leon is down.
Yeah, just let me know. I'm available.
Frozen, you down?
Yeah, I got it. It's a free game. You can't not have it.
What about you, Grimy? You down?
Yeah, I'm down for it.
All right, so we got a squad there. We got 5 of us. We're going to talk some shit and have some fun this week when we do that. So everybody that's listening, we're going to do a live stream, TIPPawgcast, and we're going to talk some shit and play some games. All right? You guys need to stay tuned to that. I'll put it up on my timeline, let you know when it's going to happen so you all can come and check it out.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I want them to know that because we mentioned it before, then we jumped off the subject. So before we did anything to end anything, I want to make sure that they know we're going to be doing this.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
if we all want to do this, great. Down. I think it's great. So we just got to pick a day. I'll think of a couple days, and then I'll send messages to all y'all, and we could pick out which days is best, and try to figure out something so that we all can be together at the same time. But so
like a plan.
So we got to make sure we got the right day. Or you guys can message me and each tell me what's the best day for you, and then we'll see what we can do.
I'm pretty much free like constantly, so just let me know.
Well, if you ain't free, you're the cyber whooping just like Grimey's going to get when this is done. So
okay,
anyway,
all right.
But we've gone over a lot tonight. We're going to end this podcast for right now. Unfortunately, we had some glitches, and I apologize to everybody that is watching and any viewers that are going to watch later on. Buffered a lot.
Late. Sorry,
it's a YouTube issue. It's not.
Oh, it's all right. You told me you're going to be late. You had to work. I did.
My manager was hating, man. I get off at 4:30. This bitch talking about, oh, did you do these files? Did you do these files? I'm like, she was like, you gonna get paid, but you gotta stay. I'm like, all right, fuck it. So
that's the main thing. She said you weren't gonna get paid. I'd say, hey, excuse. But anyway, I'm trying to keep it clean. Because I don't know if there are any young kids watching. So, but I'm trying to keep it clean. But I want to apologize for all that buffering, guys. That wasn't our fault. We tried to bring you the best, and unfortunately, YouTube messed up tonight. I am also going to apologize to one of the regulars that been on here, Demetrius. I don't know what's been going on with him the last couple weeks. And if you go back and listen, me and Rambo was talking about that because Rambo's been here too. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to address that because I don't need people to be arguing and fighting with people that are supporting the podcast either. So, we can't have that and somebody taking time out of the podcast when we're trying to talk about gaming and talk about dumb shit for 5 minutes and want to rant and rave. I've rant and rave, but I had my right because somebody was doing whatever.
But you had somebody
that I.
Yeah, you had somebody directly on the podcast doing something to you, not somebody in the comment section. So there's a difference there. So
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It was somebody on the podcast, and you call me crazy. Well, I'm not crazy. So there you go.
Well,
but anyway,
listen to the other one again.
But anyway, we're gonna go, but we're gonna do some outros before we go. But guys, remember, you gotta check my timeline. Do this soon, okay? So we're gonna do our outros first, okay? We're gonna start out with let's see, Grimy, because he didn't talk that much. So we're gonna just do your outro, Grimy. Then you cyber with him when you're done.
I don't got no outro, man. It's Grimy 314 on Twitter. Sweet Jones 314 Xbox, PlayStation. Fuck with me. Oh, I do have a YouTube channel, but I don't put anything on. So if you want to see what I'm actually looking at on YouTube, you can do that if you like. I don't make any content. Yeah, y'all have a good weekend. Have a good yeah, I watched The Princess. I watched, the old basement videos and the wolfing videos. And, back when Xbox was the Bexbox.
Oh, please.
So, that's back in the day, man.
Next up, we got Frozen Magma.
Thanks for having me. Check me out YouTube, Frozen_Magma. I did the real review for ARMS. Check that out. And thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. Next up, we got Mr. Corleone.
Yo, thank you so much for inviting me again. I'm sorry for the lateness. And make sure you check out my channel, Mr. Corleone 4. I got to thank the 28 people that watched last week's podcast and came to my channel and hit that sub button. Hopefully, I can get 28 more. But I do appreciate the new followers. Check out the content. I'm on Twitter at JustOneDon. JUS1DON, and rest in peace to that nigga Prodigy, and go see Tupac movie, man. Stop hating, support that.
Get that shit on fire.
Yeah,
hey, support
rest
that.
In peace, Prodigy.
But rest in peace to Prodigy, and thank y'all for coming out watching. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell so y'all can know exactly when it dropped. And I'm out, man. Peace.
All right, next we got up Rambo.
What's up, guys? Hit me up on Twitter at Rambo's Corner, 0 on Rambo, and it's Rambo_All-Star, all caps on PSN. If you want to hit me up there, Rambo's Corner on Xbox Live. So hit me up. I'm always down the game, man. Always looking for people to game with. So always there for that. And guys, let me just enjoy your shit, man. Like, quit fighting over the dumb shit, man. Actually, if you're gonna fight over something, at least make it worth your while. Actually, like something that's more passionate than just a console. So stop the hate.
Amen.
And once again, I gotta say, rest in peace, Prodigy, because that took me by surprise when I heard that. So I'm glad you brought that up. But yeah, rest in peace. I don't like to talk about sad stuff like that. But anyway, I got an announcement to make because I want people to know that if they want to be permanent members, Frozen Magma, Mr. Corleone, and Grimy to be permanent members on my podcast. If I'm extending the invitation, I'm saying it on air live. I think you bring a lot to the table to join this podcast on a regular basis. If you're interested,
I'm down. Just let the people speak. If the people want me to be here, then I'll be here. That's how I feel about it. If they ain't fucking with me, then I ain't gonna be here.
Same thing.
Y'all rocking with me. I'm rocking with y'all.
All right, everybody. All right, everybody. Do you want Mr. Corleone here? Send a message. You want Mr. Prodigy here? Send a message. You want Grimy here? Send a message. Rambo's already there, so we ain't got to ask about him.
Leave it in the comment section if you don't see it live.
He's the old one in the podcast, so we're just going to leave that alone. But anyway, yeah, hit us up. Hit us up and let us know. But we're going to be out of here for now. And before we go, hit that like button, okay? And check everybody's channels out that have a channel. And you know why you're going to do that? Because you all love me. Later. We're out of here.
Peace.